Did you know that Inception, Reservoir Dog, Lion King, and many other well loved Hollywood movies are actually ripped off from Asia? Just to clarify, they were not remakes. Remakes are acknowledged, legally licensed, and of course paid. Rip-offs are just that. They were stolen, then the thieves package it to be their own. And here are 10 of the many Asian movies and the Hollywood movies that ripped them off. Hi, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I would really appreciate it. It's snowing. Inception and Paprika from Japan. Inception is about a team who uses an experimental dream sharing technology to infiltrate other people's dream so that they can get into the person's subconscious, extract information, or implant ideas. Paprika is about a dream terrorist who steals a device that allows him to enter other people's dreams, and a research psychologist who enters the dream world to extract information. The greatest visual similarity happens in Paprika's own hallway scene with the character Toshimi Konakawa, a cop being treated for his recurring nightmares. He's running after a memory-infused nightmare of a crime scene when suddenly the hallway moves and shifts around him, the carpet rippling so that he's unable to keep his balance, strikingly similar to the Inception hallway scene. Kill Bill and Abhay from India. The two movies have different stories, but Kill Bill's animated violence sequence was inspired by Abhay. Apparently, in a private interaction between director Anurag Kashyap and Quentin Tarantino, Tarantino candidly admitted that he was inspired by an Indian movie. Kamal Hassan, who played a psychopath in Abhay, learned about it and was not offended at all. He said, and I quote, "When I did the animation action sequence in 2001, it was seen as self-indulgent and odd by a lot of people. After it was endorsed by a filmmaker of such brilliance, critics were kinder to some of the things that I attempted in my films." Magnolia and Manila by Night from the Philippines. Magnolia, released in 1999, is revered for its revolutionary storytelling style. They tied several unrelated narratives through a single element. Well, a full 2 decades prior, Ishmael Bernal, a Filipino director, released Manila by Night. They tied seemingly unrelated stories tied by a single element. Magnolia starts in the morning when people's day begins and then ends at night. Manila by Night is the reverse. It starts at the end of the day and ends in the morning, the beginning of the day. Both have no recognizable 3-act structure. The characters are linked either by sheer coincidence and not by some manipulative plot device, which is common in many other films. Lion King and Kimba the White Lion from Japan. Disney has vehemently denied this, but you should be seeing on your screens right now some scenes that are very similar between the two movies. The subject of The Circle of Life, the comical warthog, and the wise baboon, an evil lion with deformed eye, and the hyena henchman, a lion cub that experiences profound loss, grows up, then reclaims his throne and his legacy. What I just described is Kimba the White Lion. And The Lion King. Yeah, exactly the same. Lion King animator Tom Zito said, and I quote, "I can say there is absolutely no inspiration from Kimba. I mean, the artists working on the film, if they grew up in the 60s, they probably saw Kimba. I mean, I watched Kimba when I was a kid in the 60s. I think in the recesses of my memory, we're aware of it, but I don't think anybody consciously thought, let's rip off Kimba." In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, the Lion King co-director, Rob Minkoff, said that he's not even familiar with Kimba the White Lion. This is despite previously living in Tokyo and working in animation there during the 1980s. That's the time when Tezuka had already become known as Japan's Walt Disney, and a remake of Kimba was airing on primetime TV. Pearl Harbor and Sangam from India. An Air Force pilot carries out a risky flight to help Army soldiers. He disappears, is believed to be dead, so his girlfriend eventually moves on and gets engaged to his best friend. However, the supposed Air Force pilot resurfaces. That's the exact plot of both Pearl Harbor and Sangam. Chronicle and Akira from Japan. Now, many critics and fans agree that the basics are the same. Friend gains superpowers, tries to destroy the whole world. Other less powerful friends have to stop him. However, many believe that Chronicle is more a succession of Akira than a ripoff because Chronicle's story is strongly tangled with the found footage film. And they did it well. Akira doesn't have that element. I don't disagree that Chronicle did great things to the found footage style, but I believe that the similarity in the basics warranted an acknowledgement. Reservoir Dogs and City on Fire from Hong Kong. The final 20 minutes of City on Fire are essentially identical to the plot of Reservoir Dogs. Throughout the Reservoir Dogs movie, you will also find scenes that are identical to the scenes in City on Fire, including the famous Mexican standoff sequence. Now, some people claim Tarantino openly admitted that he was inspired by Ringo Lam's City on Fire. But there are some people who said that he only made one reference to the movie, and it was to say he had the poster. Both movies are good, and Reservoir Dogs definitely contain a lot of Tarantino's trademarks. However, I don't think City on Fire is legally and officially credited. That could mean they are not getting paid, and that's unfair. A Fistful of Dollars and Yojimbo from Japan. Nowadays, A Fistful of Dollars is openly referenced as Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo remake, but it wasn't always like that. Kurosawa had to sue. They won and now get partial screen credits. Apparently, Kurosawa wrote a letter to the director of Fistful of Dollars, Sergio Leone. Part of the letter reads, "I've seen your movie. It's a very good movie. Unfortunately, it's my movie." Sassy. Other Hollywood offsprings of Yojimbo are Last Man Standing and The Warrior and the Sorceress. Leap Year and Job We Met from India. The makers of Leap Year claim that the movie was not inspired by Job We Met from India. But why don't you decide for yourself? The story is about a bubbly, highly talkative girl who is planning to marry her boyfriend. She meets a guy and pulls him into her crazy life as she makes her journey to her boyfriend. They are forced to share a hotel room. They fall in love, get separated, but eventually reunite and get married. Can you guess which movie that is? That's both Leap Year and Job We Met. The Guardian and Umizaru from Japan. Both films use their country's Coast Guard as a milieu. The Guardian is the US Coast Guard and Umizaru, the Japanese Coast Guard. Both are about partnerships and teamwork, how one sacrifices himself to save the other. The Guardian, however, admitted that it is based on Umizaru, but only loosely. And there are more. Many of those I actually am not familiar with because Asia is very big. There's many other countries in there. And then there are some movies that were actually officially remade into a Hollywood movie. There's Godzilla. There's a whole franchise on that, but it was actually based on a Japanese movie as well. I think it was Gojira is the Japanese name. And then there's The Lake House. It's actually based in El Mare and a whole lot of other movies out there. So if you know of any, please let me know. I'd love to check them out and kind of compare how they remade the movie or they stole the movie, they ripped it off. So let me know in the comment section. And you can also get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. Of course, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I would really appreciate it. I am in Toronto, Canada. It's snowing. I will be going down later just to experience a little bit more of the snow. It actually snowed earlier when I went out, but it's getting heavy. My gosh. So I hope you guys make it out here. It's a really beautiful city. It's a beautiful country. But I will be, I'll be walking around later and I'll take you with me. Thank you. Till next time.